stuff can open up and you can't pay off the debt. You do not have to be bound to debt your whole life. For somebody that had like a 6-figure debt, I'm looking at it now like, okay, I am totally tackling this and this is totally being gone next year. Like that's the main goal. But to be able to pay off close to $25,000 this year seemed like a pipe dream a year ago. But now I'm actually living in it. And it is my desire to let individuals know that you can too. No matter where you're at, you can pay off all of that debt and you can gain financial freedom.
Welcome to the Student Loan Podcast.
Here, you'll find practical advice on tackling student loan debt, paying down your higher education expenses,
and inspiring stories about paying off student loans. We're your hosts, Daphne Vanessa
and Shamil Rodriguez.
Please rate, review, and subscribe to the Student Loan Podcast by visiting the Student Loan Podcast on Apple Podcasts or wherever you find your podcasts.
This is not professional advice, and we speak from our own personal views and opinions.
The Student Loan Podcast is brought to you by Start New, where you can serve your community and get rewarded with tuition and student loan payments. To check out if Start New is on your campus, visit startnew.com. Welcome, everyone, to another edition of the Student Loan Podcast. Today, we have none other than Latasha Peterson, who is going to be walking us through a journey of how to achieve financial independence and on your way, paying off your student loans too. So with that, please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, everybody. I'm Latasha of Arts and Budgets. And Arts and Budgets is a side hustle blog to help individuals create multiple streams of income to create wealth and to also pay off debt.
Love it. Love it. So exciting. Can't wait to get into that. But before we get into it, just tell us a little bit about your story. Who are you? How did you come to be? How did you become so enlightened? And how are you able to share so much value with people today?
Yes, absolutely. So I created my side hustle blog, Arts and Budgets, in 2016 when I was pregnant with my first son. So me and my husband decided at that point that I would stay at home. I was currently teaching. I was substitute teaching, which was also a side hustle. I was self-teaching. And then me and my husband decided that I would actually stay at home with our first child. And with that, I told him that I wanted to start a side hustle blog. I had seen individuals who were making money with the blog. And I thought that this would be a great way for me to help and give back to individuals who are looking to make more money, giving them resources and helpful tips to actually increase their income. My background is in the theater, and also music performing. And a lot of times, yes.
Love that.
Thank you. So a lot of the people that I did shows with would always ask me, Latasha, how are you making extra money? What are some side hustles that you can do? And I just love telling them the different side hustles. I literally got like 3 of the people that I was working with, like on my music team, like a sub teaching job. I was just so into helping individuals find extra work so they can achieve what they wanted to achieve, but also follow their dreams, and do that and not have to worry about their expenses so much, because when you're in theater and music, sometimes you don't always make enough money to get by to cover daily expenses. So I created the blog because of my love for that. That was the huge starting factor of that. And I also saw it as a way for me to pay off the debt that I had, because I had finished college with a 6-figure debt. And I ran from that debt for many years. Like I was so scared of it. I was like, I can't pay this off. I literally just graduated grad school and I started sub teaching right after that. But I had like temp jobs, like here and there. And it was just enough to cover the daily expenses. So I was like, okay, I'm running from this, for right now, and I'll come back to it later. And it wasn't until I want to say in 2020. So like maybe 2019, 2020, that me and my husband decided to really attack, set up a plan to attack the debt.
And that's really quick. So, because you've achieved a lot so far, but I want to get back into the theater and music just a little bit. Tell us about your passion for music, where you got started and how you were able to do something positive and do your passion while still sort of attacking or teaching people to help with their finances.
I love that. I love that question. So my background I started in a music group called Choices when I was 16. And I was in a group, a female music group, and we performed at the famous Apollo Theater. We did a lot of shows. Yes, we did a lot of different shows
Goals.
throughout the throughout the USA and things like that. And then after that, I started to record a solo album, and I kind of just put it on the back. My husband is also a songwriter, song engineer.
Oh,
wow. We've been knowing each other since we were 16. So
so cute.
So, and now we're in our 30s. But he's also, also into, in music, and he's actually, that's what he does now. So he's a mixing engineer, songwriter, singer, and all that stuff, and helps individuals with vocal training and stuff like that. But my background was, starting when I was 16 and singing. And then after that, at about 2021, I want to say, I started to do theater. I started to do doing background extra work. I worked on Empire. I worked on The Boss at that time.
Amazing.
Yeah, Chicago Fire and things like that. And it was really fun. So I did background work for them. I did some theater plays. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Hairspray.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be a whole other rabbit hole.
Yeah, so I did all of those plays, and I actually want to get back into it now that my blog is doing great.
Yeah.
I want to get back into my first love, which is being on stage.
Yes. So exciting.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Singing and performing is that's my bread and butter.
Yes.
That's my first love. And that's why I enjoy doing lives. I enjoy doing podcasts and things like that, because it feels like home. Literally it does.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And while not related to the student loan podcast, I'm sure we have so many people that can relate to wanting to pursue their passion, but being sort of blocked by this huge mountain of student loan debt, credit card debt, whatever it is. But you are just a great example of how you were able to, you were working on an album, you had a band, you did Broadway, you did shows. I mean, and you still found a way to get so far in your journey. So I would love to turn the corner and start talking about your financial journey and how much you've been able to accomplish so far.
Yes. So when I first started my Arts and Budgets blog, I didn't make any money the first year at all. And my husband was working, so he was taking care of all the bills, all the debt. He didn't have any debt entering the marriage. It was all me. So I had credit card debt and student loan debt, but he always looked at it like this is our debt. And I just could not comprehend that. What? No, this is my debt. I did this. I got all these student loans in grad school and all that. That's but he's always been a team player. He's always been okay, let's attack this together. Let's think of a plan and let's just work together and let's just do this together because we're in this together like a team. And then in 2020, we decided to set up a debt payoff plan. And at that point, I think Arts and Budgets was only making maybe 2020 was a rough year. So it was maybe in December of 2020, I want to say I made about an estimate about $450 from the blog or something like that. And during the month of December, I started to change my strategy, change what I was doing. And literally the next month in January was my first 4K month.
Amazing.
Oh, wow.
Something like that. It was a big jump, right? And
wow.
The rest of this year, it's just been increasing and increasing. And in September of this year was my first 10K month with my blog. And then from that, we've been paying down at least $2,000 to $3,000 per month toward debt.
Amazing.
Thank you. We've paid off 2 credit cards. We've paid off 2 student loans, and we were paying off a car loan that we had. And currently I'm down to 1 student loan, which is a pretty big one, but this is the last one. And once we get done paying this one off, we will be debt free. Woo! Yes. And this is my goal to have this paid off by the end of next year, top of 2023.
Fantastic. That's amazing. So I want to get into how you focused on income generation versus reducing expenses. It sounds like, correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like you focused primarily on what are ways that we can increase income instead of really reducing expenses. Can you talk to us about why you chose that?
Yeah. So I feel like the main block for me was that when I first started to think about debt, the main thing to the reason why I couldn't pay it off was because I just didn't make enough money. So me and my husband had set up a budget, a fun budget. So we would use like colorful pencils and things like that, but it was still just going down so slow. We were sticking with the budget. We were setting up a budget, having monthly meetings, but we just was not putting a dent in the debt in 2020.
Right.
So I said, you know what? We have to grow this income in order for us to pay this debt off. We have a budget where, we're following the budget. Everything is in line. If we could just make more money, this would make the budgeting and also with the income, everything just go together to attack this thing even more massively. So we decided to do that. And I focused in on like arts and budgets, and I decided to monetize the blog in different ways. So currently from the blog, there's 10 income streams, and I decided to focus in
10. One blog, 10 income streams. Tell us more.
Yeah. So currently I have 10 income streams, and some of the income streams that I have with arts and budgets is affiliate marketing. I work with an ad publishing company and they put ads on my site. Also one-on-one coaching. I also sell digital products. I sell physical products. I also do speaking at online and online seminars. I also work with brands on sponsor posts. I just picked up freelance writing, which is a part of arts and budgets too. And that's just some of the ways that I have been able to actually monetize the blog this year a little bit more. Some of the ways.
Amazing.
Thank you.
So you have a blog with 10 income streams, and let's just slide in that you're a mom of 3 kids. How are you doing this?
I know. So how am I still living? I don't know, but like my husband is a big help. My mom also lives down the street. We actually moved into a house very close to her for a season just to get the extra added support. My husband also works from home. He does vocal training. He does engineering and mixing for different artists. So he has a home studio in our house. So, we both work from home. We both have it Monday through Friday, where he will work from 8 to 2, and then I work from 2 to 6 on content. And then we team up at night to put our 3 boys to sleep and get them prepared for bedtime and things like that. And, making sure that they have dinner, bedtime, and, things like that at 6 o'clock. But setting up a schedule with my husband has been key to actually stay sane and, making sure everything is in order and stuff, because you want to make sure that you have time for your family as well as giving your business. And, in our home, we also find time for prayer and things like that. So we just want to make sure that we have enough time for everything without us going, oh my God, I need a break. We're crazy. Right. So, and then a week ago, I went on and did a facial day with my mom, my
nice.
husband, right? So it was like a day where I got to do that. So those are important too, to get some time.
Absolutely. For sure. I love it. I think I'm hogging up this whole interview. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. I'm actually really excited about that. Now, before we go into self-care, because I actually like to highlight that we've been highlighting that over the last couple of episodes and how important self-care is. Let's go down that way, and then I'll bring it back to your student loan journey, because I want to make sure that we highlight that as well.
Yes, absolutely.
So when it comes to student loans, right? Like you said, you're tackling your last one now, which is fantastic. Congratulations to you. But can you tell us a little bit about what it was like? Has it always been like that since the moment you took them out? Give us a little bit of more detail about your student loans and what that has been like for you.
It has been like I was saying earlier, I ran away from the debt. I had no idea how much I owed. Interest was being built up on those loans throughout the years.
Yep.
I want to say at least about 7-8 years, and I'm looking at it like, wow, if I would have just tried to tackle this right out of college, it wouldn't have been this much, because interest is insane. So now looking at it, it seems like I can achieve this. I had to shift my money mindset, and now it's like I can. Before, it didn't seem possible. I was like, there is no way I could pay this off. Like when I was like 24, 25, I'm like, oh my God, no, I'm gonna come back to this. But now it actually seems like I'm going to be debt free next year, or very, very soon. And I'm constantly saying this, I'm constantly putting it out there. I'm constantly reminding myself, we have this goal, this is what we're moving towards, and we're going to do it. We're going to do it, and try, even when the days are hard, pushing through that and just staying positive. Even when it doesn't seem like it, keep saying it, keep, standing in that.
That's wonderful. And so what inspired you to change your mindset, right? Because a lot of people can just stay stuck in their ways. If you can share with the audience, what was it for you that really made the switch?
My children. I said
Mm.
that I do not want to leave them with zero.
Wow.
It is my dream to leave them generational wealth, every last
Yes.
one of them. And I knew that I had to get my finances in order now. Like me and my husband, it starts now. It starts now. And we want to like maximize on investing. And the only way to do that is to make sure that we don't have extra weight on us, which is debt.
Yeah.
Can you imagine like how much that would have been if I was able to send $25,000, over $1,000 to investments or, something of that nature this year, where it could be multiplied and get, compound interest and stuff like that. So it just really just kind of shifted my mindset after I had my first son to really kind of buckle down. And then last year I was just like, okay, I'm just determined to make this blog thing work. I really feel like it's a good idea. What do I need to do to shift this? What do I need to do? Who do I need to learn from? What do I need to do to make sure that I'm moving in the right direction? So it was definitely like looking at my children. We want to, make sure that they learn about money management. I didn't learn about money management as a child or teenager. I just saw debt. Debt was seen as normal. It was almost like an arranged marriage. Like, here's debt. Here's your first credit card. Go for it. Like, well, I got a credit card. Okay, thanks for giving this, to me. And I just want my kids to know how to manage money. And it's very important for me and my husband that they know how to manage money and that they know about, personal finance and things like that. So it was definitely my children that shifted my mindset, that shifted everything for me.
No, thank you for sharing that. And I appreciate that, because what I want to do is maybe after the episode, you can share some of the resources, some of the people you modeled or learned from, and we can put that in our show notes as well. Because I think there might be somebody out there listening who's like, hey, you know what? I would like to learn how to change my money mindset too.
Yes, absolutely.
So speaking about that, and I really wanted to emphasize for people listening, today's episode really is going to emphasize your skill set to help build side hustles. You got one blog, but you've got 10 income streams there. You even have an ebook that has over 100, different side hustles that people can pick up and use to tackle their student loan debt. So let's talk about that, right? What are some of the common things that you see from your clients that you coach that our listeners are probably facing right now when they say, man, you know what? I've got 30,000, I've got 50,000, I've got over 100,000, $200,000 in student loan debt.
Yes.
How do I even start? Let's talk about that. Let's pretend we're coaching somebody right now, Latasha, and let's talk about it.
Sure. Yes. So one of the first things, if you're looking to increase your income, like if you're looking to start a side hustle or looking for side hustles that you want to bring on board to pay off debt quicker, I would say sit down and think about all your skills and talents and the things that people come to you for help for. What are they? Do people come to you for advice on how to cook? Do they come to you for advice on how to, take care of a child or like an infant or a toddler? What are these things that people come to you for help for? What is it? What are your skill sets? What are your talents? After you have those written out, I would say pick out side hustles that align with those skills and talents. For example, if you are a great writer, maybe freelance writing or blogging might be a good fit for you. Right? So find side hustles that align with your skills and talents. And then after that, research those side hustles and find individuals in those industries who have become successful, because you want to do research. You want to find out the startup costs. How much is this going to cost you to start? And also, how much is this going to cost you long term? What have people made by doing this? So if you want to start a drop shipping business, who is somebody that, you can follow and research that has done this successfully, that you can learn from. And those are just some quick tips. Like if somebody was interested in finding like more side hustles or, trying to, find the best side hustles to increase income to pay off debt, is really thinking about what are you already good at? Are you good at talking? Are you good at communicating? Are you good at writing? Are you good at, cooking? What are these things that you're great at? And then finding side hustles that align with those skills and talents, and then researching the side hustles to see how much it costs to, start up. What are the things that you need? Do you need a computer? Do you need a mic? What are the things that you need for that side hustle? And then also researching individuals in that industry that have become successful. What did they do? What are they doing? What are some things that you can apply to your strategy as well, that's unique and different for you, because your story is unique and different, and people want to know the real you, right?
Mhm.
So those are
Absolutely.
just some things that have totally helped me this year scale my business and make it a profitable business this year.
That's wonderful. And then my last question before I switch over to Daph, I feel like now I'm hogging the mic, is what are some interesting, or let's say more outside of the box ideas, side hustles that you've seen that have worked for people, right?
Yeah, so absolutely. So like I saw people that may do brand, like become like a brand ambassador. So I've done that, like where like you may work for like a radio station or like a company, and like a company like Coca-Cola, and you're like working at the different events, introducing them to different new samples that the company may have. Like if you're doing Coca-Cola, it might be a Coca-Cola sample, or it might be a bar sample if you're working for like a bar company, like a fruit bar or something like that. So like brand ambassador is a good side hustle to do, because you could become your own boss essentially, because you could tell them when you want to work the events, but it doesn't keep you locked down. Also, virtual assistant work is really good. You can, take the skills that you may have as an admin assistant or just virtual assistant, such as, setting up calendars and things like that for companies and businesses, and applying that to, finding freelance work as a virtual assistant. If you're good at, helping individuals learn different subjects, you can look into tutoring. You can also look into proofreading, which is also a great side hustle if you are good at catching like errors in writing.
Typos,
like
yeah.
yeah, typos. If you're good, if you're that person, proofreading is for you. Proofreading and editing for sure. So yeah, virtual assistant work, tutoring, proofreading is also a great one. Brand, like becoming a brand ambassador is good if you like to be around people and you love meeting new people and working at events. So those are some of the best ones and that I have seen for individuals to make good extra money.
Great. No, that's good to hear. Daph?
I'd love to get into the tactical just to see how you do this. You spoke about the schedule, so I counted, and I think that's 4 hours a day about that you're spending on the blog. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay.
Yep.
So in those 4 hours, how are you generating the income that you do today? Are you prioritizing certain activities? Are you like, what was the progression to get to where you are today?
Yeah, absolutely. So some of the income is actually passive. So the ads is passive. So, and then affiliate marketing is passive. So Arts and Budgets right now gets over 100,000 page views per like a month, per month. And I use like Pinterest and working on Google SEO as well to help generate more traffic and things like that. So right now, as I'm talking, I'm making money with affiliate marketing and like ads on my site and things like that when the people actually go to the actual site. And then, so like each day I sit down and I think, okay, so what are the non-passive ways? So like working with brands on sponsorship posts is more active. So I have to make sure that the content is present for today. I have to take pictures that may include the brand's name or something like that. I've literally been working on a brand campaign, I want to say every single month after like May of this year. And I'm working on 2 right now. So those are like a priority right now because I have to get them done. And like one is due on the 5th. And then another one is due this upcoming week. So I'm working on that right now. I'm also prioritizing creating content. So blog posts for my site. I actually had to hire a writer to help me write because the tasks have become too much, right? It's a lot of work. So I had to outsource and find another writer to help me, with the bulk of
Stay consistent.
Yeah, stay consistent. And then I also prioritizing staying, consistent on social media, such as Pinterest and Instagram are the 2 social media platforms that I stay consistent with. And I make sure to post content on them. I at least try every day or every other day. With Pinterest now, I just set it up in the scheduler and the content is just going out every day. So I don't have to think twice about it, right? For Instagram, I create the content in advance, but it's a little bit more hands-on. I think Instagram is more hands-on where people can get to know you, get to know your brand. You could do Instagram lives, whereas Pinterest is more a traffic driver. So people are looking at these pins you are putting on Pinterest and they're clicking on them and going to your site. So it's more of a cold a colder lead, right?
Mhm.
While Instagram is more warm. They know you, they know your face, they know your brand, they're used to you going live and doing reels. So it's a little bit more of a personal connection. So I utilize those two platforms to make sure, I stay connected with my followers. And then I also make sure that I email my email list, which also is very important too, at least once a week. Giving them helpful resources about side hustles, the best side hustles, and just turning a side hustle into a profitable business. So I make sure to send them some resources and to let them know what's happening with me, what's new every single week, to make it seem like, okay, you guys are a part of this team by letting them know what's going on. So each week it's a different theme of like what to focus on at that time. But it really just depends. So like this week, I have the 2 sponsored brands that I'm working with. So that's a priority. I just finished up a blog post. So I don't have to work on a blog post this week because my writer finished one and I finished one about 4 days ago. So I'm okay for this week. So this week is really just focused in on the sponsored content. And then also with the Black Friday stuff, promoting my blog for profit course academy.
Nice. And what is the sale for that for this Black Friday?
Oh yeah. So for Blog for Profit, I am taking $200 off for the Blog for Profit Academy, which is for bloggers, new bloggers who want to know how to start, grow, and monetize a blog.
Yep. Directly on point. And how long will that sale be going on?
So that sale will be going on throughout this whole weekend, and then it will be back because the course officially launches January 4th, the 6-week live course. So I'm doing weekly lives each week, but it will be on sale again the last week of December.
Very cool. So this will be a great opportunity. And so people that know, we're recording this towards the end of November 2021 for the longevity piece. But that's really where you'll get into details on setting up the blog, but just like an abbreviated version so that people can get a little taste. At the beginning, when you were starting out, right? Did you still have the 4 hours a day sort of schedule? Did that include weekends? And if so, were you allocating all of your time towards just like SEO, getting traffic and Pinterest posts?
Yeah. So when I first started, the first year, I didn't know anything about SEO. I thought I did, but I did not know. I thought it, right. I think you know, but you had no idea. I focused a lot on Pinterest. I actually studied Pinterest so well. I made a Pinterest course at one point when I was, back in the day, not back in the day, but like maybe 2 or 3 years ago. Saying back in the day, like it's been like 50 years.
Yeah.
Like 2 or 3 years ago. And it was one of my favorite platforms to actually be on. But since I only had at the beginning one baby, I had more time to focus on the blog content. And since my husband was working a 9-to-5 job at that point, I worked in between my son's naps. So I feel like I was putting in more time with the blog at that point because I was trying to learn plus trying to apply. Now it's more so like, okay, this works. I'm finding ways where stuff is working. So I'm just working smarter. I think at this point, like, okay, let me outsource. What can I do? What can I outsource? How can I save on time and, taking off the pressure on me so much and focusing in on that right now.
Nice. And how do you decide when to outsource? Do you use your own personal family money, or do you wait until your business has generated enough money to pay for the outsourcing?
Yeah, so I waited until the business generated enough money to pay for outsourcing. So I actually waited. And my husband was like, you need to hire some help because this is becoming very overwhelming for you. You're doing too much. You're trying to, focus in on the SEO research. You're focusing in on creating the content. You're focusing on Pinterest marketing, email marketing, doing the social media management. You need some extra help. So it wasn't until we started to generate a comfortable income that I was comfortable enough to actually start outsourcing, because as you guys know, I was paying off debt, and I'm like, I want to put most of that money towards paying off that debt, get ahead, but I do understand that investing in help can also help increase that at a much quicker rate. So
sure.
It was just kind of like a good medium.
Nice. Perfect. I think that's so helpful, right? Because sometimes when you're starting off your side hustle, people aren't always sure what point does it make sense to start outsourcing to help you really maximize your impact. And you've been able to impact so many more lives now, right? Now that you have help, you can help more people and more people sort of get the message. So that's amazing. I know you've been featured all over. Talk to us about the first time you sort of got major press and what that felt like.
Oh my gosh. I think the first two articles, I couldn't believe it. I was featured in Black Enterprise and CNBC. I think it was
Amazing.
Acorn or Grow or something like that. And I was just like, oh my God, this is crazy. Like just last year, I was hardly making any money with this blog. And now the blog is being showcased for, the months, like the different months that I think my first month was like toward the middle, it was like $5,000. And I think CNBC featured that article on me taking my blog and turning it into a full-time income stream and things like that. But that was so surreal to me. I was just thankful to God. I was just like, oh my God, I'm getting able to tell this story, but also showing individuals who don't have like letting them know that no matter where you're at, if you're working a 9 to 5, if you're not working a 9 to 5, stuff can open up and you can't pay off the debt. You do not have to be bound to debt your whole life. And for somebody with that had like a 6-figure debt, I'm looking at it now like, okay, I am totally tackling this and this is totally being gone next year. Like that's the main goal. But to be able to pay off close to $25,000 this year seemed like a pipe dream a year ago. But now I'm actually living in it. And it is my desire to let individuals know that you can too. No matter where you're at, you can pay off all of that debt and you can gain financial freedom.
Yes. What are your plans after you've paid off the debt in terms of achieving financial freedom?
Wow. Oh my God. So me and my husband want to really invest, setting up, like the UTMA accounts for our boys and things like that. We're going to start on that pretty soon and really, learning more about investing and what's comfortable for us. We want to make sure that we set our children up and have generational wealth for them as well. And, just still educating individuals, like you can make more money, but if you don't have that money management in place, it could just fall right through your hands. So along with side hustling, budgeting and learning about money management is just as important as well, for sure. But, definitely educating, still educating and just living life and having fun, and doing it in a way where you're enjoying life and, just having fun with our family and things like that. But definitely we want to look into investing so we can start creating generational wealth. And we're doing that now, but really stepping it up, and really starting doing that.
For sure. And so one last tactical question, so your brain doesn't melt, but the taxes are such a headache for some people, but at minimum, just a logistical, time-consuming activity for a lot of people, especially when you have a business. So share with our audience how you maximize tax strategies and to what level you're involved. Do you use an advisor or do you make sure to really know sort of tax law updates so that you can implement the best strategies for your family?
That is such a great question. And when I first started to substitute teach, I'm gonna tell you a little story. I did not know anything about self-employed tax. And at that point I was 1099. So I was an independent contractor and I didn't take out any taxes. I was like, oh, okay. So this is not like a W-2. I guess I just keep it. I didn't know anything and at the end of the year, I was hit with a major tax bill. And let's talk about a very expensive lesson learned, like over $3,000, an expensive lesson that I learned. And from that, I decided to learn everything I needed to know about self-employed tax. I went and dug up a lot of research. I studied the IRS website. I was looking at the different forms that you have to fill out, the different websites that you have to send in quarterly taxes to for federal. I also found out information for my state taxes, how much to take out, how much you should take out, what is their percentage and things like that. And currently me and my husband, we have an advisor. So we have we use, we have a tax guy or, a tax preparer that we go to that has been amazing these past 3 years and just been helping us, figure everything out, map everything out. And I highly recommend if anybody is self-employed, because every situation is so different.
It is.
Definitely get advice, professional advice from, legal, professional, CPA, tax professional or something along those lines. But that's totally what we did. We actually get advice from a tax professional now with any questions that we may have. I just talk to him about investing? How does that look during tax time? With the business, how does that work? And he was able to like break it down for me where I understood completely, okay, this is the route we should take and this is what we should do. So I highly recommend, like, if anybody is starting a side hustle or self-employed, to definitely get tax professional help from an actual tax professional. And you can also look at the IRS website to see if the person is actually, I think it's like certified. They have like the certified tax preparers on there too, which is so important just to know if somebody is legit.
Yeah. No, doing research is like paramount.
It is when it comes to like taxes, for sure.
That's actually very helpful. And I think I wanted to end on some things that might be some like mental blocks for people as they try to venture off into side hustling, right? Or picking up a gig or whatever you want to call it, moonlighting, right? There's everybody, I don't know. I just think of old terms I've heard before.
Right.
No, but like really just making extra money, right? Is really what it comes down to.
Yeah.
And so you had to learn a really hard lesson. And $3,000 is no joke for a lot of people.
No.
And so what are some, I guess, tips you would give for people that are like, hey, you know what? I'm kind of right on the edge right now. I've got these student loan payments and they're really expensive. And I don't know if I have enough money to even start a side hustle. Like what can you say to those people right now?
Yeah. So if they want to, I would say first, if they know how much money they already owe, definitely knowing your numbers. That was a big thing for me, knowing how much you owe, knowing how long it may take you to pay this off. How much money do you need to make per month? You just need to make $200 extra, or do you want to attack it really fast and, earn like an extra $500 a month? A lot of side hustles don't require you to actually have startup costs. So like if you're doing focus groups, I've done like focus groups where I've gotten paid like $250 for my opinion on diapers, right? So you can find online focus groups to make, extra money per month. They have some legit survey sites such as Pinecone Research, which is a really good one. Mindswarms is a really good one too, that I would highly recommend, that you don't have to put money up for to actually do. So there are some side hustles out there that you could actually look into to actually make some extra money, just depending on how much you want to make. And you don't have to spend like thousands of dollars each month trying to do the side hustle and also pay off debt, because you want to make sure that you maximize on, your income for sure when you pay off debt. So I would say absolutely write out how much you want to pay off per month. And then you can kind of figure out from there, okay, what do I need to do to make an extra $200 a month or $100 a month and things like that.
Okay. And my last one, I'm gonna try to think of some like things that are like mental blocks people might have, right? When they say, well, you know what? All right, so now I figured out how much I owe. I called my student loan company and I figured out if I pay the minimum payments, it's going to take me X amount of time. Okay, great. But then they might say, but you know what? My job takes a lot of my time right now, but how do I actually do I have time? I don't really have that much time. Is that going to be worth it? Like, tell me if I were that person, how are you helping that person right now overcome that mindset?
Yeah. So I would say like, okay, so what is your main goal? What do you want to accomplish? What do you want? What is your why? Why are you doing this? Why do you want to pay off the debt? Really think about why are you doing this, and where do you see yourself after you're debt free? What do you want to accomplish? So it's just like figuring out, okay, what's your why? Because sometimes you could get unmotivated, but thinking about your why, for me, my why is my children, right? So on hard days, just thinking about, okay, they're still little. Okay, so let me keep pushing, let me keep going, and things of that nature, thinking about the why, and then also thinking about what it is you want to accomplish in your life, and what do you want? Do you want to stay at that 9-to-5 job? Or do you want something different in the future? What do you want? When somebody's thinking about it, like starting a side hustle, and it could get, it could get hard with a side hustle too, in the middle. But it's like, do you want to go back to work there? Do you want to stay there forever? What do you want to accomplish in your life? And really try to move past those obstacles, even on hard days. And if you need to talk to a friend, if you need to watch a funny movie to reset, I am all for that, just for, never letting something overwhelm you. Don't let your debt overwhelm you. Don't let oh my God, this pressure of this side hustle is overwhelming. If it gets like that, rest and reset, because rest is just as important as making money too. for sure,
Yes.
and self-care
Yes.
and making sure that you're mentally okay, so making sure that all that is in order. So that's just some of the things that I would cover with them for
No,
sure.
for sure. Absolutely. And so what are some, before these last 2 points, now you got me thinking about the self-care, and I'm glad you brought that back up. No, because it's so important. And last week's episode 56, actually, with Brandon Rodriguez, we talked a little bit about self-care and how important that is. So what are some of the self-care tips that you would share that you practice yourself, or that you just share with other people that they should do themselves?
Yes. So making sure that you have time for yourself. So whether that's watching your favorite movie, and this is like, one-on-one time, or if you need a spa day with the girls or just a camp day with the guys, whatever that looks like for you, make sure that you are doing that at least once a month, I would say, because I think starting a business, having a side hustle, working a 9 to 5, having children, or just being single, sometimes it's just a lot of pressure. And sometimes you just need to reset and refocus. So, picking out, it could be something as small as going to Starbucks and getting your favorite coffee, or taking a trip to one of your favorite places. It could be like a quick trip. Like I'm in Chicago, so maybe going to Wisconsin Dells or something like that, with my mom or husband or something like that, just to get away, are great things to do. So, think about, ways that you can, make yourself happy, get your hair done, get your nails done, have a girl's day, go eat at your favorite restaurant, something so simple as that.
Great. No, that's good. It's very good to share.
Thank you. This has been just amazing. I have a fun question for you before we leave. So if you had to choose between being debt-free or being financially independent and maintaining your debt, what would you choose?
I would want to be debt-free.
Oh, wow.
I don't want to be debt. I'd rather be debt-free and then starting from the bottom if I had to, and back up. Yeah,
absolutely.
That's me.
Awesome. No. So many people, but we love to sort of see where everybody is on the spectrum of FI.
Yeah.
So with that, I think that this has been an amazing episode. I really enjoyed chatting. I feel like a lot of people got value. Where can people connect with you? Tell them about some really cool things that you have going on, so that in case they're interested.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can check out my blog at artsandbudgets.com. You can connect with me on Instagram at artsandbudgets. I have a ton of side hustle resources on my site that you can check out, different posts, different ways to make extra money, all different type of ways, legit ways that you could check out actually directly on my blog.
Nice. And there's a really cool resource that you have too that we wanted to offer the audience for free. Did you want to share that?
Yeah, so I have a Side Hustle to Freedom ebook. Now, this ebook actually has 100 different side hustles in it that you can pick and choose from, because a lot of times people are just not sure which side hustles to do. So this side hustle ebook makes it really easy and breaks every single thing down for you. Like, it has like the best focus groups, companies, best mystery shopping, companies, best places to find virtual assistant jobs, tutoring jobs, and things like that, all in one place. And it also has side hustle templates, like side hustle income tracker, so you can track how much money you make per year and things of that nature.
Cool. Very cool. So for you to win this ebook, all you have to do is follow Latasha, follow us at the Student Loan Podcast, and we're going to pick one person at random on that little pinwheel thing, and we'll announce it at the beginning of the following week's episode.
Yay,
so thank you
you
guys so much for staying with us and staying engaged. We love chatting with you, Latasha. Shamil, do you have anything else to say?
No, that's it. Thank you so much for joining. For more information on today's episodes, we will include the links in the show notes like we do every week. So Latasha can share that with us. But for more information on today's episode, visit the studentloanpodcast.com/episode 57. That's the studentloanpodcast.com/episode 57.
Thank you guys. Bye-bye.